Hello and welcome to this important session on academic integrity. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the important aspects of academic integrity, which we call as looking into the similarity aspects, or more commonly called as plagiarism. No doubt it's a menace which has plagued or is going to impact the research community in a big way. But over the time, it has also been seen that it is also impacting the students in general, and therefore, our ambition is to make the faculty members, the educators, or those who are involved in the dissemination of information to know about this menace and do something in their classrooms through their conducts, uh, so that this kind of behavior, plagiaristic behavior, to be more clear, is not repeated. So, I have done some research on this particular topic, and I've found that plagiaristic behavior is an outcome of deviant attitudes. And these attitudes are something which are formed over the years. Therefore, we need to understand by what mechanism we can work around to curtail the menace of plagiarism. So maybe some corrective measures right from the very beginning can help the academic instructors to do or frame some policies around their submissions, assignments, and other things, so that such things are not done by the students. And as far as the academics are concerned themselves, this is but a very natural progression to not being involved in plagiaristic behavior. More so because we are into the process of publishing, and publication is not just a mere dissemination of information, it also takes things forward uh, for others to take up. So it's a progression of a science uh, which we should not, corrupt. So going forward quickly with this discussion, I'll be sharing my work around with you here. So if you look into, say, for example, I'm talking about Journal of Vocational Behavior, one of the sought after journals. Uh, so if you just look into when you start submitting your article or manuscript, this is for all the researchers who are in this domain. If you start submitting your paper, they have this brief, guide for authors to, for publication or the submission of their manuscript for publication. They provide you with these guidelines, which needs to be seen and acted upon. So the first thing which before you begin, it starts with ethics in publishing. And when I, drop on this part, it comes around originality and acknowledgement of sources. So what really is this part, originality and acknowledgement of resources or sources? So authors should ensure that they have written entirely original works, and if the authors have used the work and or words of others, that this has been appropriately cited or quoted, and permission has been obtained where necessary. Proper acknowledgement of the work of others must also always be given. Authors should cite publications that have influenced the reported work. So it's about, again, citation, quotation, permissions. Okay. Further, we see information obtained privately, as in conversation, correspondence, or discussion with third parties, must not be used or reported without explicit written permission from the source. So what we are talking about is even your private conversations, which you are doing with colleagues, maybe anybody else, if that information is being reported in the work for furtherance of some work, then even that needs proper permission. Now, the important part that we are talking about today and for today's session is plagiarism. So plagiarism does take many forms, and we have seen a lot of resources which talk about this, what plagiarism is. I'm sure most of us are now informed on that. Uh, but let's see what happens when we are actually going for the publication. So plagiarism takes many forms, from passing off another's paper as the author's own paper, to copying or paraphrasing substantial parts of another's paper without attribution. So attribution here means to cite the authors who have originally published the work, to claiming results from research conducted by others. So it's about attributing those original authors or the work of authors in your own text if you're using uh, their part in any way. So if it's not your own original contribution and you're passing off it to be your original contribution, then you're plagiarizing. So plagiarism in all its form, constitutes unethical behavior and is completely unacceptable. This is what uh, Journal of Vocational Behavior says, or Elsevier publication says about this. And mostly, if you go for any other publication houses, this is something which is always talked about, is provided in the submission section, and needs to be looked into carefully. So having discussed, what plagiarism is, I'll quickly talk to you in a very, very straight format way. Plagiarism is when you're copying information from published or unpublished sources in your own work, and you're not attributing that original source in your work. In a way, you're saying that it's your own work, which then is stealing, and then also saying that this has not been stolen. So it is a grave menace. The gravity of the situation can be, analyzed from different anecdotes from the past. You must all be knowing that the current president of the United States is Joe Biden. Previously, he also, was running for the presidency in, I guess, 1988, 89. And at that point in time as well, he was there, but he could not make it because one of his law papers, he was apprehended of plagiarizing. So plagiarism is something which may haunt an academic later on in their lives as well. Uh, Going forward, I did talk about the corrective actions that needs to be taken. So what corrective actions needs to be taken from the institution side is, the first thing is workshops like these, wherein we talk about what plagiarism is. Second, we talk about what happens if you plagiarize. So maybe you can get some punishments in terms of publications, not to publish in, say, 5 years or 10 years time, or maybe the UGC regulations also are very clear on it, that what happens when there is one time offense on plagiarism, second time offense, and if you're a repeat offender. I mean, it boils down to you not getting promotions, and maybe also you're not getting students to guide, and so on and so forth. Many academics have also lost their jobs because of the whole thing. So the gravity is there, and we need to understand that even if the work needs to be done quickly for any purpose, like tenure track or promotions or even appointments, we must understand that we are playing with fire, and plagiarizing is absolutely a no-go area. Thank you.